a screen share with you. And what we're going to do this morning is look at the Twitter account and look at how we can use Hootsuite to help us with it. It's a fantastic tool to help you schedule all your tweets and everything. I'm just going to click onto Hootsuite there. So this is my Hootsuite dashboard. Don't be put off by it. I've got lots of different clients on here. But you would just have the one screen, so that would be nice and easy for you. But it is brilliant to use for scheduling to Twitter and also scheduling to LinkedIn. You can connect your other profiles to it as well, but please don't use it for Facebook or use it for Google. And the reasons I'm saying that is because if you use a third-party software to post to Facebook, then your views, your reach will be decreased. Now, Hootsuite is a preferred supplier to Facebook, but what actually happens is, say if you were to use it and your reach is normally 1,000, were you to use Hootsuite, that might be reduced to 300. And if you used any other third-party software to post to Facebook, it would be even less than that. Okay, so and with Google, if you were posting on Google Business, your link wouldn't be going in the right box. And to me, that's the whole point of posting on Google Business, the fact that your link goes in that box, which hopefully will re-index you with Google. All right, so please just look at using Hootsuite for Twitter and for LinkedIn.
Amanda, we've got a question from Charlotte just asking, what about Instagram?
I wouldn't use it for Instagram either, Charlotte. It's a third-party software. And of course, Facebook own it. They're making loads of changes to it at the moment, and that will include the use of third-party software. But you've got your scheduler now built into Facebook. So when you're on your business page on Facebook, if you go into your Creator Studio through Publishing Tools, you'll be able to link that up with your Instagram account, and you can schedule to both Instagram and Facebook from there. So I would advise you do that.
And then we've got one question from Michael saying, would it have the same impact on LinkedIn, Amanda?
No, it seems fine on LinkedIn. It doesn't seem to affect that at all. Excellent. So yeah. Okay, so on to Twitter. I'm going to teach you a Twitter routine, something that will help you really build up your account on a gradual basis. Okay, so it's something you should be doing every day, but it will only take you sort of 5 to 10 minutes a day to do it. And the great thing about Twitter and Instagram, in fact, is they are the easiest networks to get new followers for free. All right, so we'll go into that. But I'll start with the settings and so on Twitter. So I'm assuming that everybody here has an account set up already. So I'm going to take you into your settings and just go through those with you. So obviously you have your username. So your username, it's up to you what you do here, whether or not you want to have a different account name to a username. I've used Northeast Social, so my business name, as my username, but my account is in the name of Amanda Dixon. And that way I know that whether anybody's searching for Amanda Dixon or for Northeast Social Media, I'm going to come up to them. So you have your telephone number, your email address. This is where you would change your password if you needed to. All the important information's in here. From a privacy and safety position, you're not going to want to protect your tweets. That would lock your account down and make it harder for people to follow you. As businesses, you want as many people as possible to see your tweets, so you're going to leave that section unticked. It's up to you again whether you want anyone to tag you in their photographs. Again, that can be great sometimes, but people do tend to sometimes overuse that. They'll post it and they'll look for people with lots of followers. And even though the post isn't really appropriate to them, they're tagging them in it. So if that's something you do, don't do it. Only tag people in your photographs and only tag people in your posts if what you're putting is really appropriate to them. Direct messages, this is a great one. Don't tick that box. You will be absolutely inundated with spam. And unfortunately, most of what comes in through DMs, which is direct messages, tends to be spammy. Okay, there's a lot of people that have just set up automation. So if you follow somebody, you're automatically receiving a message from them. And you know what? That doesn't go down very well. People know it's automation now. So my advice to you is message people properly from you, from your business, not through this automation system that you can use. So I put on a quality filter so that, again, my messages are more appropriate when they come through. And there's also read receipts that you can put on. If you do send a tweet to a direct message to somebody, you can see when they've read it. So go through all these different sections, decide what it is. So for example, on notifications, whether or not you want to receive push notifications or SMS notifications when anything happens on your account. I've turned it all off because I just want to see it on my notifications over here when I log into Twitter. That's enough for me because I know that I'm going to come onto Twitter on a daily basis to check these. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. If you want to receive emails anytime there's activity on your account to remind you to go onto Twitter, then by all means put these email notifications on. Okay, watch like display. You can choose how you want your Twitter account to look on this browser. This is just for your benefit. Your display is just your display. Okay.
Amanda, I've just had a question from Pamela saying on her Twitter page, she doesn't have the same boxes. Why is that? I have gone into settings. So
you might have an older version of Twitter. Yours might not have updated yet, but all this information was on the old style as well. When you click into your settings, you will find all of these different informations, maybe not this display one, but you will find all the other information about your password and your notifications and everything else. They will all be there in your settings, but it might just look slightly different. But there is still the old style and the new style, and the new style is still being rolled out. To be honest, I thought everybody had it now. But yeah, you'll still have a settings box and it will still have all this information in it.
Great. And then she's just asking, can she manually update her Twitter account?
If you're using a computer, no, you have to wait until it's done, but do make sure your app's up to date if you're using mobile.
Thank you.
Okay, so go onto your App Store, onto your Google Play Store and update it there. Any more questions, Helen?
No, that's us done for now.
Really lovely. Here's one, accessibility. So you can increase your color contrast if you want your images to be more vivid. That's if you're using text on a color background, it'll sort of make them pop. And also, if you have potentially visually impaired followers, you can use the compose image descriptions. And what happens is when you upload an image, it'll ask you to type in a description about the image. So the software that somebody who's visually impaired is using would read that out for them. Okay, so that's quite an important one there. Basically, you want to work your way through all these settings, just making sure your account is wide open, that you're not being inundated with notifications, because that's the sort of thing that puts people off. If they're getting text messages and emails and they've got their push notifications on, so the messages are popping up all the time on their computer, that's what makes people run away from some of these social media accounts. But if you're going to commit to popping into Twitter just to check it every day to build your following, then you can switch them all off. Okay. So what you're going to do with Twitter is follow this sort of little routine that, like I said, is going to help you build your account on a daily basis. And the first thing you're going to do when you log on to Twitter is check your notifications. Okay, so these notifications are going to show you anything that's happened with your account. It's going to show you if somebody has liked a tweet that you've been mentioned in, if they've retweeted you. Sometimes it's going to show you recent tweets that it thinks you might be interested in. It's going to show the tweets that you've been tagged in. All of that's going to appear down here. You can filter it from all to mentions, and just see the tweets where people have actually mentioned your name. So what I should explain is there's only two functions on any social media account, and that's the use of the @ key and the use of the hashtag. So the minute you type in the @ key, whichever social media platform you're using knows that you're about to go into the function of naming somebody. Can you hear the background noise now? Oh, perfect day. Yep, so the @ key tells you that you're about to name somebody. And what that then does is create a link between you and that person. That person gets notified that you've mentioned them, so they're not going to miss the tweet. Because if you just put somebody's name in here without the use of the @ key, they're never going to see that tweet. The only other function is the hashtag. And the hashtag is just used to group conversations together. And they are a function on every single social platform. So yes, you should be using them on Facebook. People already know they should be used on Instagram, but they think they're just an Instagram thing. And they should be used on Twitter and LinkedIn, anywhere. Okay? And the function is to group that conversation together.
Amanda, I've got Pavan in, he says he can't see the notifications button.
It should be a bell. No matter whether you've got the new style or the old style, it's always been a bell. So if you've got the old style, it might be right at the top of your browser. Right within in your Twitter box, you should see a bell. It's always been a bell icon.
And we've got Miriam saying, do you put a space between the first and last name when you're doing the @ function? I get inconsistent results. Okay,
it's got to be when you're doing the @ when you start to type that person in, it's all one word. The minute you click on the space bar, you're putting a gap in. So you must use their Twitter name. It's not their name you're using, it's the name, the username that they're using for Twitter. I think it confuses people because on Facebook and LinkedIn, for example, you can tag somebody and there is a space involved in that when you're tagging on Facebook and LinkedIn. So you would type in the @ key and you would start to type it as they have it laid out on their accounts. But then what you can do is once you've tagged them, you can backspace and delete the surname. So just the first name shows, but you can't do that on Twitter. On Twitter, you need to use the full username.
Thank you, Amanda. From Noriko, she's asking, she's heard that we shouldn't use more than 3 hashtags on a post on Twitter. Do you agree?
Totally. No more than 3. In fact, 1 or 2 is fine as well. But absolutely no more than 3 hashtags on a Twitter post.
Thank you.
Okay, so what using the hashtags do is increase your potential reach. So when you post something on, well, any social media account, your potential reach are your followers. And if they start to interact with that post, then their followers might see it too. But by using hashtags, you're increasing your potential reach to not just the people who are following you, but for the people who are following that hashtag. And many people do that. They might say, right, I want to see all the hashtags to do with hashtag North East Hour. And they'll click on that as a hashtag. They'll click on latest. And whether you're following that person or not, if they've included, see, I'm not following NED Works, well, I should be. Whether you're following them or not, because they're using the hashtag, it's going to come up in this stream. All right, so if you want your business to be included in these streams, you use hashtags. So for example, I noticed that Diane's here this morning, Diane Makepeace, and she does beautiful flower walls and so on. And she wants to highlight herself to restaurants and hotels and also event organisers who are planning weddings. So what she needs to be doing, particularly on a Wednesday, is using hashtag Wedding Wednesday, because that's a hashtag that is used every Wednesday for anybody in the wedding industry, and people do pop in Wedding Wednesday into their browsers, and we'll see every single post that's got Wedding Wednesday in there. And brides and event organisers and everybody will know about that hashtag and will be following it.
Amanda, what about other channels? So we've said sort of no more than 3 on Twitter. Is there, obviously the amount of hashtags, it varies, doesn't it, across channels?
Yeah, it does. So my advice would be, let's start with good old Instagram. 30 hashtags on Instagram is the maximum. Okay, and it will make a big difference if you use them. Now, Instagram don't like it if you use the same hashtags over and over again. So what my advice would be, rather than having to sit and think of 30 hashtags on each post you put on, create a note file on your mobile phone. Okay, so I've got like a notepad on my mobile. And in that notepad, I've created 27 hashtags. 9 to do with my business. So it's all hashtag social media training, social media marketing. Then 9 hashtags to do with locations. So I'd use hashtag Durham, hashtag Newcastle, hashtag any followers, hashtag Gateshead, and so on. 9 of those. And then 9 more personal hashtags. So I'm going to put in things like working mum, she means business, all things that I want to be associated with. And then when I post on Instagram, I'll put 3 hashtags in the post that I'm creating to do with the image that I've uploaded. And then I'll copy and paste my 27 other hashtags into the comment box. Okay, that way the combined 30 hashtags are different. And also that means I can feed that post into Facebook as well. And on Facebook, again, we'd recommend no more than 3 hashtags. So that's perfect for feeding into Facebook. And of course, some people have it set up that when you post on Instagram, it automatically posts on Twitter as well. And again, it's going through with the right amount of hashtags, but you've still got the right amount of hashtags, the 30 that you can use on your Instagram account. So I'd say basically it's 30 hashtags on Instagram and then no more than 3 on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And the reason we're restricting it on LinkedIn is because LinkedIn users just aren't used to hashtags. They're fully functional in LinkedIn. They have been fully functional for years, but users are still getting their head around it.
And what about sort of where you put the hashtags, Amanda? Should you put them within the text at the bottom? Is there a standard formula?
It absolutely makes no difference whatsoever. So long as they're within that post, that's fine. Normally I'd put them at the end, but sometimes if you're restricted for your wording or it just looks better, then you can put it within your text as well. From a functional point of view, it makes no difference.
And what about, we've had a question from Pamela in terms of changing a Twitter name once it's created.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely fine. It makes absolutely no difference to your followers or your following. It stays exactly the same. So you're able to go in and change your account name, your username, anything you like.
Perfect. We've got a question from Miriam saying, how do you find out about the regular scheduled tweets? I'm not quite sure what.
I know what she means there. So she means things like Northeast Hour and Wedding Hour.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's just research. And before we came on, I had a look for Leeds Hour, but when I found it, so if I show you, so if I put in Leeds Hour and go to people, that's normally what you would do. It said here, Leeds Hour is back now on every Wednesday from 8 till 9 p.m. However, when you look at the account, you can see that they haven't really run a Leeds Hour since June 2019, which is a bit of a shame. So if you're in Leeds, I'd suggest you'd contact the account holder here. And if they don't want to run it anymore, why don't you? You see, this is a great account here. There's 11,500 followers on it. So it may well be worth your while trying to contact them and see if you can take over that Leeds Hour account. But the only way you can do the search is up here. So at the moment, there's a hashtag of Network Northeast. So if I search that and go to people, let's see if they've put it in there. That's the National Women's. So basically what I know about Network Northeast is that, there we go, Durham Business Club are running a Network Northeast hour for any businesses every Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's one of those things where you're just going to have to do some research. But you know what? Tweet the question. Ask your network, does anybody know of any good networking hours on Twitter that I can get involved with? It's a good tweet.
Perfect. And what about, we have a question here. Do you have any recommendations if your Twitter name is not available? So about having a name that doesn't reflect your company very well. We've got a business here, the Monkey Puzzle Tree, but my Twitter name is @puzzle_tree, as I couldn't get anything closer.
Yeah, that's fine, but just make sure that your account name is the full company name, or if you're wanting to use your name and the company name, make sure it's in your bio. That way, when people go to Twitter to look for you and click on people, it's going to come up one way or another. Okay, whether or not it's via your name, your company name, or that Twitter handle. What I would say is what you should try to do is have consistency through the accounts. So try and get the same name for Instagram that you would for Twitter, and possibly even the username on Facebook. I'm at Northeast Social on everything except for Instagram, where I'm at Northeast Social Media. It was the closest I got because somebody had already taken Northeast Social. Right, but you can play away and you play around and you can change these things. It's just as easy to change them on Instagram. The hardest one to change is Facebook. Okay, they're quite strict about page name changes and username changes on Facebook, but they have eased it a little bit. It's a bit easier these days than it used to be.
Good. And what about in terms of, I think we've answered that actually in terms of the searches you've just done, Amanda, but Joe's asking, are Twitter hours as popular as they were a few years ago? But it just depends, doesn't it, on the user,
the person leading them. So I don't think Northeast Hour is as popular as it used to be, for example, in the Northeast. But Network Northeast only started up a few weeks ago for Durham, and that's getting quite popular. But no, they haven't got the traction that they used to have. But it's still a great way to connect with people. Even if you don't get involved in the hour, if you wanted to connect with people in the Northeast, for example, and you put in the hashtag Network Northeast, you could go down and make sure that you're following all the people who are using that hashtag. Their businesses, they're in your area, you'll want to be connected with them. There we go, that's another one for me there.
Perfect.
Okay. So what you're going to do every day is you're going to go on and you're going to check those notifications. Oh, there I am there. So Rural Studio, I'll follow them back, and I'm going to quote retweet. So that means I'm going to retweet this with a comment. And I'm just going to say, good morning, thanks for joining, and retweet. I also click the like button, because that then reminds me that I've dealt with it, so that when I come on to my notifications and click on mentions, I can see how far down this list I've interacted with. So next time I come on, I've just got to deal with the tweet that's above the one that I've marked. I hope that makes sense. It does in my brain, but it speeds things up for you. And I'm all about trying to find quick ways of doing things.
Amanda, we've got a question from Alex. It's saying, other than contacting the account, is there a way to claim an abandoned account that is using the name you would like?
Not really. They are so poor at getting back to you at Twitter. It's worth trying. It's worth going to Twitter support and asking the question. But I mean, there's loads of people that can't get their company names because they're sat there on abandoned accounts. And every now and then, Twitter will do a purge. And they did one about, was it about 3 months ago? They did a purge where they sent out an update to people saying, if you haven't used your Twitter account for 3 years, we're going to delete it. And they did delete thousands and thousands of accounts. And suddenly people have started to be able to get hold of those old Twitter usernames that they wanted. So do keep trying. But no, I think Twitter support probably get that many messages about people wanting to get their names that they just don't answer them. But it's always worth a try. I would try contacting that account user, the person who's managing that account through direct messages.
Perfect. And Amanda, I don't know if you want to answer questions as we're going here. I know we're getting quite a few in, but we've got a question that's asking the recommended size for the Twitter headline image as it keeps changing.
Yeah, the recommended size is 1,500 by 500 pixels. That's the size that you should be creating for your Twitter header. But we will go into all that bit and show people how to edit it and so on shortly.
Great. And then we've got a question about Yvonne's done a Facebook session yesterday, and they were told that any organic post that had outside links linked to your website will now only get 1.5% reach. So paid posts are the only way to go for those. Does this apply to Twitter as well, or can we put links on our Twitter?
Absolutely. In fact, my main purpose of using Twitter is to drive traffic to my website. And actually, so far as Facebook and external links are concerned, it's absolutely fine so long as the post that you're putting on there is engaging. So if you were going to put a link through, say, for example, to a blog you've written, so long as you're asking a question and being careful with the language that you're using on that Facebook post, it'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, so long as it doesn't look salesy, because at the end of the day, with Facebook and organic reach, if you're using Facebook properly, which is to build a community and to engage with people by, giving them information that they think they might find useful and asking questions and running polls and keeping it light, then the organic reach will be absolutely fine. If anything, I'm finding a massive increase in organic reach on Facebook at the pages I manage at the moment. I'll give you an example. There's an accountant in Reading who is just on Facebook for searchability, doesn't particularly use it very much, maybe post once in a blue moon. He's only got something, I think it's under 20 followers on that page, 20 likes on his business page. He doesn't care. He's there for searchability. He wrote a blog right at the beginning of lockdown about the, I think it was the furloughed employees or explaining, but in simple terms to make it easier for people about furlough, put that link on his business page, and he's had over 3,000 reach on that post. Okay, so it's so long as what you're putting on is of an interest to the people who are following you, then you will get that interaction on it. It doesn't matter that it's an external link. But going back to Twitter, I could go talk about Facebook for years, I could. I didn't do an introduction, did I? I probably should do that at the end. Yeah, but on Twitter, that is my purpose for using Twitter. You should have a strategy around your social media, but that's another session. And in that strategy, you should clearly know who it is you're talking to or who it is you want to connect with on each of the different accounts and how you're going to use it. I can't sit on social media and chat to people all day. I wish I could, but I haven't got the time to do that. My business has Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook groups. I can't sit and chat all day because I've got training to deliver and other people's accounts to manage. So what I do is I have a purpose for each of them. And that's what you've got to work out. So Facebook is my engagement tool. I use pages to raise profile. I use groups to engage. Okay. Twitter is my backlink tool. By using Twitter and tweeting out 5 times a day, I'm generating 5 backlinks driving traffic to my website. That's my purpose for Twitter. Every now and then, I will engage on it. Obviously, if somebody's tweeted to me, I'm always going to reply to them. I'm never going to ignore anything. I might occasionally, so I'll show you from the insights a bit later, the difference it makes when you do engage. But my main purpose for Twitter is driving backlinks to my website. And that is something that Google's looking for with everybody's website. You set these websites up. Obviously, you optimize each page, each blog you write. And it's an easy process to do these days. It's not as complex as it used to be. And I think in the old days, we had to do something like find 250 places to put a backlink onto our website before Google would even acknowledge our existence. Now that's different. You can create your business listing. Google will give you a code and that's going to index your website. You have a Google console that you can add all your other pages to. And when you've set your website up, go and find appropriate business directories to put backlinks in to your website. And you'll put your backlink on your Twitter account and your Facebook and everything else. But once you've done that, your backlinks become static. And to me, that's where Twitter comes in, because you can create these constant tweets with backlinks, driving traffic to your website, and that will help you get top of Google.
Amanda, we've got a question saying, what is a backlink?
Yeah, so a backlink is a link that goes from anywhere, from anybody's website. So in this instance, from Twitter to your website. That's a backlink. So Google, the only links you get, so Google look for 3 links on your website. Every single one of your web pages, every single blog that you write should have an in link on it. So that's a link on your blog, for example, that links to another page on your website. The easiest in link to do is at the bottom of a page or at the bottom of a blog. You put, if you want any further information, please do contact us. Highlight the word contact us and put the link through to your contact page. That's the easiest in link to do. But quite often it could be that you're writing a blog about something you've talked about before, so you can in link back to that blog. Every page, every blog on your website needs to have an outlink, a link going from that page to somebody else's website. Okay, so again, a really easy one to put on there is, have you connected with our community on Facebook? Link it to your Facebook page. Have you connected with me on LinkedIn? Are you following the company page on LinkedIn? All these things you can use as nice, easy outlinks. So once you've got your in link and your out link on every page, then you need backlinks. And that, again, for me, is where Twitter comes in. I've got my website years ago. I had it registered on all the different business directories and so on. There's a fantastic article, actually, it's quite old, but if you just Google best free UK business directories, one of the blog comes up with 32 examples for you to follow. And if you went through that and just added one a month or one a week or one a day, that's going to gradually build this up for you. Build that into your strategy as well. But once all that's set up, to continually create these backlinks to your website, that's what I use Twitter for.
So Amanda, we've just got a question there saying, would you add, so obviously you're saying you'll use it for your backlink strategy. So the key there is making sure that you have a website link on every Twitter post.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not if I'm responding to tweets, not if I'm taking part in, say, the Network Northeast Hour. If I'm taking part in Network Northeast Hour, I might put some tweets in, going through to my website. But when I'm chatting with people and getting involved in the actual hour, I'm also talking to them. So, but yes, my 5 generic tweets a day that I suggest you do, 5 a day, nice and easy, will all have backlinks on them. All will have links to my website.
Fantastic. So I've got a couple of questions here. Could we have a copy of the list of 30 best free business websites? I think we'll probably end up posting the link in here anyway, won't we?
I can do it now if you like. So I just Google best free UK business directories. And the article that I get clients to go by is, where are you? Actually, let's have a look at C1 if. I'll give you the 15 one because the 32 one has dropped off. But Nexus is great, yeah. So I'll take that link here and just pop it into chat. There we go.
Perfect.
There we are. But yeah, just work your way down through this. I mean, it's things like Google Places. Well, it's out of date. This is just Google Business now. This is so powerful. Anybody with a website absolutely should be registered on Google Business. And then you've got Silex UK, Free Index, Thompson Local. Be prepared for sales phone calls. So down here probably is yell.com, or if they're actually taking it off of this one. But if you were to register on yell.com, they are going to come at you with sales calls. Just be prepared to say no. You don't want the enhanced listing on Yell. You're quite happy with your free listing. Thank you very much. Okay, you are forewarned because they're quite forceful in their sales. Okay. So yeah, every day you're logging in, you're checking your notifications, you're going to respond to everything. Okay, click the like button just to acknowledge that you've seen that tweet. You're then going to go and have a look at your followers. And these are all the new people who have followed me, and I'm going to follow them back. I'm going to follow them back because I want to build this Twitter account. And the way Twitter works is reciprocation. People follow you, you follow them back, you follow people, and hopefully they follow you back. So what I would do is, rather than have one of those awful you can tell I don't like automations, those awful automated DM messages come up, what I would do is click the follow button, click on tweet, and type in their name. So that was at M2, there they are, and click on them. Because I've got a few people to follow back, I'm now going to copy that name and discard this tweet. And then I'm going to follow Amalida UK and Investing in Children. And again, I'm going to paste the first name in here. Oops. There we go. Click on the second, type out the first. And so on. And you could go down, maybe do half a dozen of these. And then you could type in the front here. We don't want to start the tweet with somebody's name. Although they said they'd lifted this, it does still make a difference. If you start a tweet with somebody's name, you're going to reduce the amount of people who get to see that. All right, and we're using Twitter to raise profile. So always put words in front of somebody's name. So that's why quite often you'll see a tweet start with a full stop, because people are getting around that to make sure as many people see the tweet as possible. So I'm going to say, good morning, list the people, put and in at the end. Thanks for following. Hope the sun is shining where you are today. Then what I'm going to do is add an animated GIF. The reason I'm going to do this is because my 5 generic tweets are going out every day and they're static. They're just a tweet with an image on with a link through to my website. For me to humanize my account and show that it is actually being run by a human being, I click on the GIF button, I type in the sun, or good morning, or wave, or something like that. Pick an animated GIF that I can live with. Oh, that's quite cute. A dog on a beach. And then I might put in, and yeah, that's it. That'll do. And click on tweet. So those 3 people that I've mentioned in that tweet will now each get a notification. They'll each get the other people's names as well if they want to build up their account with those people. I'm not too picky about who I follow back. There are obvious accounts that will jump out screaming at you that this is a spam account. You can go and have a look at them if you want to. So this one here, I wouldn't follow this back because it's a locked account. I don't know who the person is. I don't know what this account's going to become. They also haven't uploaded a profile picture. This may well be a genuine person, I don't know, but it could also be an account that's being built up that will suddenly be made public and the image be changed, and it could be a porn account or it could be a spammy account. So I'm not going to follow that one back. But this one here, absolutely I would follow them back. Will and Joe, I might take a look at that. Now that's got 37 followers. Sorry, they're following 37 people. They've got 1 follower. I'd be a bit wary about following this one simply because there's only 1 follower, but it might be that they're new to Twitter. Let's have a look. Yeah, they've only just joined Twitter. So it might be that it's just somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. This would worry me here, the numbers after the username. Okay, but that could simply be that this account is somebody who just doesn't know what they're doing yet. All right, but I'm not going to follow them, but I'm not going to block them either. Okay, I'm just going to leave that one in my stream for now so I can go back and look at it another time. The important thing is, and you should think about this, when I'm reading down through here, I can see that Amelida UK is in Leeds. They're in the UK. So for me, great, that's a fantastic target audience. My company is Northeast Social Media, and I predominantly train people in the Northeast of England, but I do go elsewhere as well, especially now with Zoom. The fact that we're using Zoom has massively opened up. So Saturday morning or morning time, their time, Saturday afternoon, I'm delivering one-to-one training for a company in California. Okay, so, but predominantly I'm looking to build up a UK/Northeast audience on my Twitter account. So if I can tell from the bio, like I can here, Landlords in Leeds, that is a North-based company, I'm going to follow them. All right, so with that in mind, think about including your location in your company bios, and we will get onto that bit in a minute.
Amanda, Stephen's saying he can't see his followers. Where are they, please?
So you go to your profile, Stephen. So you're looking at your profile page where you can see all of your tweets. And you've got at the top following and followers. Okay, and you would just click on your followers from there, and here they all are. If you have the old style Twitter account, that information would be over here in the left-hand column. You'd have a picture of your cover photo and your profile picture, and underneath that, it would say following and followers. Right, so you've checked your notifications. You've responded to those. Oh, look at that. What I say. See, I'm always drawn by a German Shepherd. So I would quote, retweet that. What a beauty. And I might even use an emoji on here and put a big smiley face. There we go. There we go. I'm sure mine will be joining us at some point. My German Shepherd, that is. Okay, so we've logged on, we've checked our notifications. We're then going back to our profile to follow our followers back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find 30 new people a day to follow. Eek, I hear you say. Not really. One of the easiest things you can do is go and find your competitors. Go and find accounts that you think, do you know, the people that are following this account are my target audience. So if they knew I existed and I'm using Twitter, maybe they'll want to follow me too. So I'm not going to start pulling up lists now of my competitors, but what I will do is say, for example, right, Digital Drive Durham. I hope I get your name here. There we go. I might think, do you know what? The 669 people who are following Digital Drive County Durham are more than likely following them because they are businesses in Durham. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on these three dots here and I'm going to add them to a list. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to add to a list all the businesses that I feel if their users knew about me, they'd want to follow me too. And that way, instead of coming and thinking, oh God, here we go again. Amanda says I've got to follow 30 new people. How am I going to do that? Put them all in this list. And I'm going to put in, there we go, follow followers. So all I've got to do is pull up that list, pick on one of the members, click on their followers and just go through the first 30. That's it. It really speeds it up. Now, when you're creating a new list, you can give it a name, description if you want to. Please, please, please tick in this box to make it private. If you don't and you leave it public, every single person that you put into this list will get a notification to say, you've been added to this list by this person and this list is called, and they'll give the name. All right. Now, I know in the past people have thought they were creating lists and thought they were private and gave them very silly names. And I'm not going to say it because it's a bit rude, but every single person who this lady put into the list got a notification to say, you've been added to this group called Northeast something or others. I'm not going to say the word, it's too early. And it linked it to her name. All right, so please, please, please make sure you make your list private. You don't want people to know that you're putting them in your list called the competition or follow their followers or anything like that. All right, so
just go through those three dots again. We've just had a couple of people miss that little bit.
Yeah, sure. So what we're doing is identifying key accounts where we believe those users would want to know about us as well because they're our target audience. So you would go to an account, you would click on these three dots here and choose the option add or remove from a list. That takes you through to the list section where you can create a new list, or you can put that account like that into one of your existing lists. Okay, so I'll do that with another account. If we go to Durham Business Club, actually we'll do this one, Business Durham. We go to Business Durham, three dots, add or remove from a list, and into follow followers, and save. You can see actually I had that one in other lists already, although follow followers. They also use the hashtag NEFollowers, so I've got them in that list as well. And it looks like I've got myself two follow followers list. That's nice and confusing, isn't it? I'll have to fix that later. What you would do then, when it comes to following your 30 people, is you would go to your lists. You would choose one of your lists, and you can see That one's called Inspire and E. That one's called Full of Followers. That one's called Northeast Social Media's Facebook group. That list is open because I'm quite happy to put people in that list, and for those people to know they're in that list, it helps them feel as if they're part of a community. So you can leave lists open for that reason if you want to. But for now, I'm going to go to Full of Followers. And when I'm in that list, I can look at the members in the list, pick one of them, click on their followers, and go down to the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Whoops, I clicked the wrong button there. Just like that. So I might not want to follow New York Cosmetics. 6. Oh, I've clicked the wrong button again. The Joy of Live. I'm going to miss this one out again. They haven't got a profile picture. So for me, that's a no, leave that one for now. This one here, Northeast are supporting local businesses. I wouldn't follow this one. She's following 120 people and has only got 5 followers. So that flags alarm bells up to me as well. With that in mind, that's why you should keep your following and your followers numbers quite close together. So I'm just going to go down and pick, and I might go through and pick 30 people from that account. Or I might say, right, I'm going to follow 15 of that person's followers today. And then I'm going to do build up my followers based on anybody who is using the hashtag, let's have a look, any followers. I'll click on any followers. I'm going to go to latest so I can see all the latest tweets to do with that. And then I can go down and make sure I'm following these people. I am mostly already, I think. Fleet Rev. There we go. So I might decide 15 to follow other people's followers and 15 using a hashtag. It might be that I want to connect with all the businesses in Gateshead. So again, I could either do a search for hashtag Gateshead or Durham or wherever. But let's go with Durham. We'll look for hashtag Durham. Oh, sorry, just look for Durham. But instead of just looking at the tweets that mention the word Durham, I might go to people. Now, this is going to pull up for me every single person who's used the word Durham in their username, their account name, or within their bio. Okay, now obviously we've got to be a little bit careful here because there is a Durham in America as well. So I'm looking for the ones in the Northeast, which look like that one. Not sure about this one, Durham. Yeah, that's fine. County Durham, Digital Durham. And work my way down through that list from there. I can change the location. There's a filter over here on the left-hand side. So I could say, just show me the Durham ones near me, and that's going to get rid of America, which makes it a lot quicker just going down and following people. The reason I say just follow 30 people, up to 30 people a day, is because if you try to follow too many people at once, Twitter are going to stop you. They're going to think you want to spam people. And years ago I did this. I remember I created an account for somebody and I straight away knew which account their target audience would be following. And off I went, click, 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 got to about 120 and bang, up it popped. Your account has been suspended. And what Twitter made me do is read through their terms and conditions. And I mean, read through them because they hid little boxes in it that you had to tick to confirm you'd read it. So honestly, you really don't want to go there. When they gave me my account back, they gave it back to me with no followers and made me start again. So please just learn from that and just build this up gradually. That's also better for your social score, something else that Google is looking at when deciding whose website's going to come top of their search. So this is a nice way by gradually increasing your followers to build up that social score. You don't have to do everything in 24 hours. This is a gradual process.
Amanda, what is the sort of a good ratio that's shows a healthy account in terms of followers versus people you're following? Is there a standard?
There's not really a standard as such. I think it's personal preference. So what I did with my account was Twitter used to stop you at 1,000. When you were following 1,000 people, you couldn't follow anymore until you had 1,000 followers. They have moved that line now, but I think it's up to 5,000. But what I would advise you to do is keep it within 10% to start with. And what I did was I always, up until I got to 5,000, I used to follow everybody back and look for more people to follow. Once I got to 5,000, I started to be a little bit more choosy about who I followed back. I was being a bit more specific about them, which meant my followers overtook my following. So when somebody looks at this account now, they're going to think, well, they've got more followers than they're following, but they're still following lots of people back. So A, I've got a chance of being followed back, and B, they must be interesting. All right. So I'd say in the first instance, don't follow more than a couple of hundred more than you have followers.
Brilliant. And what about in terms of hashtags, to get sort of a hashtag trending? Is there any tips?
Just talk to a group of people if you want a hashtag to trend. So what that means for those that don't know is over here on the right hand side, again, it used to be on the left, it's moved to the right, we can see what's currently trending at the moment. You can have this set to worldwide trends, or you can do local trends. And trends are the most talked about topic that's going on, or the most talked about hashtag that's going on Twitter at the moment. And by far, the statistics on Twitter trends are better than any of the other networks. So I always go based on Twitter trends. So today is National Tea Day. If you get involved in a trending topic, you're going to reach more people. Okay, because people will be looking at the hashtag National Tea Day and just following all the tweets in it and engaging with them. So what you would do there is you would make a tweet, include hashtag National Tea Day, and then say something about it. So, did you know it's National Tea Day today? Are you a tea drinker, or is it coffee all the way for you? Now I could click on an animated GIF there, or I could even create a poll. And I could say, tea for me, coffee all the way. I can say how long I want to run the poll for. So this can just go on for a day, and I could, that's it, it's all set up. Click on tweet, away it goes. There's my poll. It's a bit of fun. It creates a bit of engagement. Queen Elizabeth, it's her birthday today. We could all be tweeting happy birthday to Her Majesty. Things like Tuesday Thoughts and Tuesday Motivation, they are going to trend week in, week out. You have hashtags like Monday Motivation, Tuesday Thoughts, Wednesday Wisdom or Wedding Wednesday, Thursday Thoughts, Throwback or Throwback Thursday, Friday Feeling, Friday Fun. All those types of hashtags will trend week in, week out, and they're my fallbacks. If I'm trying to think of something to tweet and I come along and look at my schedule, I'll quickly look to see what day of the week it is and know that if all else fails, I can do a motivational quote using the trending hashtag. Or sometimes I might even come over to Twitter just to look at the hashtags and there we go, got a vote already, coffee all the way. Have a look at the hashtags and just pick one of those to create a post about. Now, this will be trending on other sites like Facebook and Twitter and so on. I probably wouldn't talk about National Tea Day on LinkedIn unless I sold tea, and then that would be different. But it's less fun over on LinkedIn, isn't it? The minute you start to put fun posts on there, you start to get people start to form negative feelings towards you because you're not acting as a business should be. So we're a bit more careful about what we put on LinkedIn. But certainly, yeah, get involved in the trending topics, but make sure what you're posting is appropriate. Years ago, which company? I think a company was called Dickens, something like that. They sold household stuff and garden furniture and so on. And they understood that you could really increase your rate of your views and so on by using the trending hashtags. So they put out tweets like 10% off our garden furniture this weekend, hashtag iPhone 4S. Okay, don't do that. Make sure your tweets are really appropriate to the hashtag you're using. Otherwise, people just get upset. I think I'll have a drink of water.
Thirsty work, Amanda.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Can you imagine I just sit and talk like this all day? And then my kids want to come on Zoom in the evenings. Yay! Brilliant. Any more questions, Helen, or will I just carry on?
No, we've got no more questions there.
Okay, lovely. So
one more, sorry, Amanda, was if people have accounts that they haven't followed and they're from a long time ago, should they go back and follow them?
Sorry, if people have accounts that they haven't followed?
Yeah, so if they've got people that are following them, but they haven't followed them back, and this was from a while ago, should they go back in and follow them now?
Yeah, certainly do that. Do that, and if they're appropriate to you, if they're your target audience. And here we could bring Hootsuite into this. You wouldn't want one tweet after the other saying, thanks for following, thanks for following, thanks for following. So what you might want to do is go to your followers. Let's go back to my profile. And let's have a look. We'll follow this account. We'll follow this one. And we'll follow Holy Island Radio. This time we might say, I want to post this now. So I'm going to take those names over to Hootsuite. Oh, wakey wakey Hootsuite. And I'm going to create a new post. I'm going to post it to Northeast Social Media's account on Twitter. And I'm going to say, good evening, and list their names. Stick in the word and. Thanks for following. Hope you've had a good day. Smiley face. You know what smiley face is? Where are you? There we go. Oh, and I've just switched them off again. Let's put them back on again. Smiley face. And then I'm going to come down here, browse your media. I'm going to change free images to Giphy. And in the search box, I'm going to put in good evening. Come on, Speedy, you know you want to. There we go. And all these animated GIFs are going to come up. There we go. That doesn't really say good evening. There we go. There's a nice flashy thing that I could live with. And Then instead of clicking post now, I'm going to click schedule for later. And I'm going to say, I want that to go out at 6:25 p.m. tonight. So I'm going to click done, and then I'm going to click schedule. So that now is going to be sitting here in my scheduled tweets, and that will go out at 6:25 this evening. So yes, you could go back through all those old ones and schedule them all, and you can change the date on them. So you could schedule them all one to go out every night for the next week if you wanted to.
Amanda is, because as far as I remember, Hootsuite was free for up to, is it 3 different social accounts?
Yeah, it still is. But actually, it's really hard to find the link, because the minute you go looking for Hootsuite, it'll take you through to the one where it's giving you the upgraded version, not giving you the free account. So let me just pop that link in the box. Let's go to Hootsuite free. There we go, it is still working. But yeah, so yeah, they hid this for ages and people were going straight into the professional account. Now, I swear by the professional account. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I'll show you some of the different things you can do on it. Let me just go into chat and post that. There's the Hootsuite, there we go. And I'll come out of there. So I absolutely swear by it, because I use a function on it called bulk uploads, which is where I create 50 generic tweets and I can upload them every 2 weeks, just making little tweaks to them. It saves me hours, but then I am an agency who manages other people's Twitter accounts. So I need something like that. But even if you were thinking of doing that long term, I would still start off with a free account, and you can connect 3 social networks to it. So please remember what I said at the beginning of the session and use those 3 connections to be your Twitter account, your LinkedIn personal profile, and your LinkedIn company page. Don't connect anything else. Okay.
I was just going to say, Amanda, we've had a question from Risman saying, how well does it work on Instagram?
Don't use it for Instagram. If you want to schedule to Instagram, go into your face. I knew I'd end up putting Facebook on. You know me, I always do. Go into your Facebook account. Click on, lots of people don't realize this is here. Go into publishing tools. Down the left-hand side, when it comes up, into Creator Studio in your own good time. There it is on the left-hand side. Now from Creator Studio, your Facebook page is pulled through, but you can also add your Instagram account. And then when you're posting on here for your Instagram feed, you'd write your caption, add your location, really important that you do that if you want extra reach, add your image, and then you can also choose for it to go to Facebook as well. And then you can either publish that straight away and it goes off to both platforms, or you can schedule them individually. So you could say, I want them to go out 8 o'clock tonight. I want the Facebook to go out at the same time if you want to. So you can schedule all your Instagram posts from here now. That's the only scheduler I would use for Instagram. Okay. Back to Twitter. Okay, so we've logged on, we've checked our notifications, we've gone home, we've looked at our followers, and we've followed everybody back, and we've tweeted them for now, and then we've scheduled a thanks for the follow to go out later on tonight, both times using animated GIFs to humanize this account. We've found our 30 new people to follow, but what we must do is watch these numbers, as I've mentioned before, and keep them close together, especially in the beginning. And the worst thing you can do is be following 5,000 people and have 200 followers. You know, if you do that, people are going to straight away look at those numbers on the account and they're going to think they must be boring. Okay, so what you're going to do is use a piece of software like, unfollowerstats.com. There we go. And I'm going to sign in with Twitter. I'm authorizing the app. And what it's doing now is it's syncing my account, and it's going to pull through for me a list of all my followers, and it's going to show them down here on the left-hand side. So let's have a look. I'm going to just continue to my dashboard. So this is the free account here. So I can see 51 people who've just unfollowed me. I could pull them up and say, okay, let's go and unfollow them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to non-follow back. So all the these are all the people who I've followed who haven't followed me back. There they are, a list of them. Now these ones here, I've just followed. So I need to give them, you know, a bit of time to follow me back. So I might go for one of my middle pages. There we go. And all I'm going to do is down the list unfollowing them. I'm not even looking to see who they are. At the end of the day, if they're not following me back, they're not seeing my tweets. And these are people that I followed a long time ago because I'm in a middle page. They've had ample opportunity to follow me back. But you know what? If they're your target audience, the chances are you're going to click on the follow button again, because they'll come up when you do one of your searches. When you go onto one of your competitors' followers and follow them back, they're going to come up again. But this time, when you click the follow button, they may well follow you back. You are restricted on the free account. It seems to be letting me unfollow. There we go. So you've reached your limit. I think we unfollowed about 30 people there, and it stopped me, or 25, 30 people. If you've got thousands to clean up, then I suggest you upgrade for a month. You can sign on to this just for a month if you want to, or you can sign up, you know, if you're dealing with large numbers for longer. It's only £2.99 a month, $2.99. If you signed up for the month, you could go and in that month clean that account up, get rid of the hundreds of people that you're following who haven't followed you back, and then you can stop the subscription and just go back to the free account, because by then you've got a nice tidy account. And if you get into the habit of following 30 new people a day and bringing up Manage Flitter to dump those ones who haven't, like 30 a day are the ones that haven't followed you back from previous, it will keep nice and tidy for you. Okay, so that is unfollowerstats.com. And there we go. I've got, actually won't show us here because they've rounded mine up. But when I refresh, that would be that all updated. And there we go. I've got 11,935 followers now. So they've got rid of 30 of them. Okay. That routine, if you do that on a daily basis, and it sounds like a lot, but it isn't really. Once you've identified those key people that you want to follow, it just speeds the whole process up. So you're logging on, you're checking your notifications, and you're responding to anybody who's tweeted to you or mentioned you. You're then going to your profile page, you're looking at your followers, and you're going to follow them back and tweet to them with an animated GIF, because you can see by including animated GIFs in your stream, it just makes you look more human. Okay. You're then going to find your 30 new people to follow. And then you're going to use unfollowerstats.com or a similar software to dump those people who haven't followed you back, just so you can keep these numbers together. You might also want to check your messages, but like I've said before, quite often they're just automated DMs. They're not very personal. Okay, so I personally, I don't like that. I think people should be tweeting it out. And of course, that's going to be raising your profile by doing that.
Amanda, on a B2B account, would you still recommend using GIFs? Absolutely,
100%. Big battle I have with lots of B2B organizations, totally. If the company are very worried about their brand, which lots are, create your own GIFs. Okay, you could use your own GIFs here. And if you don't have any, you can use the likes of canva.com. You can now create branded animated GIFs in there, and you could have them saved in a file and just uploaded them. I'll just open Canva and show you. So you could come into Canva, you could type out a Twitter post, and when you click on that, that's going to give you all these different designs that you could be using. So it might be, right, I want to use something like this. And you can change your wording on here. You can upload your logo, and then you could go down to elements, click on stickers. Oh, where have you gone? And just put something in here that makes this image move. So let's have a look at all the word stickers. There we go, slay. Or you could look for hello or something like that, couldn't you? If you wanted to change the image, put it on your brand, you would upload your own images, and then you'd be able to drag and drop them into this box, just like that, and replace it with your images. If you knew your brand colors, you could click on here, and you could either type your brand color in here or pick something close to it there. So there's all sorts you could do with that. So you could create some kind of hello message through that. Okay, but yes, we want something to be moving because that captures people's attention. And what happens is when you post something on Twitter, it's only going to be seen by the people who happen to have their mobile phones 99% of the time in their hands, who've refreshed their screen at the time that you send out that tweet. Sometimes people will read down their news stream a bit, but they won't go miles and miles down it. This is why we can use repetition on Twitter and why we can use generic tweets, because the chances of the same person seeing a tweet that you sent out a week ago at 9 o'clock in the morning that you're sending out now, the chance of the same person seeing that is so limited. And this is why we can work in these generic tweets where we're basically taking a sentence from our website, putting a link on it and saying, go and read more. Okay, that's back to those generic tweets.
And Amanda, in terms of the reason why we respond to followers, we've got here a question from Karen saying, why do you respond to followers? Is it that so you are actively following and showing a presence, or?
It's humanizing the account. Because I'm using Hootsuite and I've just got these generic tweets going out over and over and over again, I need to do this bit of interaction with people to show people that they're not being ignored, that I've seen their tweet, that, you know, they've gone through the bother of tweeting to me and mentioning me in something. So I want to acknowledge that. It's almost like saying, yeah, I've seen this. Sometimes there's a response required. Other time, just to acknowledge that you've seen somebody's tweet is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take you into the analytics here, which will sort of explain why I'm saying to you, do a minimum of 5 tweets a day. So these are my analytics, and it shows in the last 28 days, I've tweeted 123 times, which is up from normal. With those tweets, I've reached over 42,000 people. All right, 42,000 people have seen my face, my company name pop up in front of them. That's made 358 people actually click on that tweet to look at my profile and read my bio. 51 people have mentioned me, and my followers have gone up by 14 people. Okay, that to me is a fantastic reach. That's really good from a social score perspective. The reason it's up much higher than last week, I know, is because last Tuesday I took part in Network Northeast Hour. using that hashtag Network Northeast. So there's a good reason for that. I've also made more of an effort this month to do a bit of interaction, because normally I don't. You can see how low my engagement rate is compared to what it would be on Facebook. But that is because this isn't necessarily my engagement tool. When I have the time, I engage on Facebook. If I've got a little bit of extra time, so if I'm free at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I will absolutely take part in hashtag Network Northeast Hour again. My tweets have led to 22 clicks through to my website. 29 people have retweeted me, 143 likes on the tweet, 32 replies, most of them being last Tuesday. But look at these stats over here. I've got over 11,000 followers. And when I tweeted that out 21 minutes ago, it was seen so far by 116 people. That will go up, but at the moment it's been seen by 116 out of 11,000. That one there, when I quote tweeted somebody, was seen by 125. This one 128. This one 238, 222, 165 out of over 11,000. If I just tweeted once a day, that would be it for my reach. I wouldn't be getting 42,000 impressions in a month. All right, so that's why it's really important that you're tweeting a minimum of 5 times a day. I've also set it up so that when I post on Instagram, that post automatically goes through to Twitter with the image on it. I've also set it up, although to be honest, I don't think it's working at the moment, but I have set up, I don't think they're speaking to it at the moment, but when I post on Facebook, normally that would go through to Twitter with a link back to Facebook. But that's in addition to my 5 tweets a day. That's, and your thanks for following, don't count them as your 5 tweets a day either. Have the 5 tweets going to your website a day going out. Let them go out through your account, and everything else you do is an added bonus.
Amanda, we've just had a question saying Twitter impressions are down, yet profile visits are up. Is that odd?
So that's on someone's particular account? Not really. People are behaving in different ways. I think overall, if you're tweeting as much as you normally tweet, your impressions should be higher, because at the moment, the stats on all the social profiles are that people are coming on them more often and staying for longer while they're stuck in lockdown.
And is it better to post from a personal or a business account?
Right, so I only use the one account. I don't have a separate personal profile to my business profile, because right at the beginning I thought, you know what it is? If I was to have separate accounts, it would be a nightmare. It's double whammy. It's 2 lots of work. And don't forget, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So if you're getting some of your personality and your some of your personality out through this Twitter account, that's nothing but a positive thing. You can see on here, my profile picture is my face, because I am the face of my business. Yes, I have employees and so on, but most people, when they're thinking about Northeast social media, think of me. Since changing my profile picture, I get more views on my profile. More people will click through to my business profile to have a look at it. If you're the face of your business, use your face. If you're not, if you're a larger company, or if brand is more important to you, then use your branding. Make sure it fits in this box though, so you actually need a square, not a rectangular logo. So you need to create your logo in a square, and when you upload it, it's going to put a circle around it, so make sure you've got lots of space around it so that your important logo is center of this image.
And I think some people have just missed where the analytics are, Amanda, from the profile page.
Sure, so it's over here on the left-hand side on the More button. If you haven't got analytics, right, if it's not showing up to you here, go into Twitter ads. all you would do in here is answer the couple of questions they give you and then come back out of it. The minute you do that, you then get access to your analytics, and your analytics will then appear in this box. You just have to go through the process of pretending to put an ad on first, and then they give you your analytics, but you don't have to put your ad on. So far as advertising on Twitter's concerned, just as a sideline, I don't put any budget. I've tried in the past, I keep trying it every now and then, but I don't find it as effective as if I was using that budget in Facebook. And the reason that is I don't believe that Twitter have quite sorted out our UK demographics. All right, so it might be that you're running an ad and you want it to be seen by people in the Northeast, and suddenly you're getting loads of followers from Cornwall. Okay, I really don't think they've sorted out our analytics. I can tell that as well because quite often when I log on to Twitter from my office in North Shields, it'll pop up with saying, somebody's just logged on to your Twitter account from Camden Town. Okay, but I know it's me because it always, for some reason, has me in Camden Town. So, yeah, I wouldn't be putting budget behind Twitter ads at the moment. I'd be using that on Facebook. All right, but they're your analytics, and you want to keep an eye on them. I'll go into tweets. I mean, you can see where it massively peaked last week on Tuesday. So just by spending an hour on Twitter gave me an additional, and that this was through the networking hour, an additional 11,378 impressions. Okay, so to me, that's huge. I'm happy if I reach around 22,000 impressions a month. That's me happy. That means, yes, I've got my 100 tweets out there, but to get any more means, yeah, I've done well this month. So what I'll do is I'll set myself a target for next month, get involved in 2 Twitter hours if I want to increase the engagement. If I don't, if I just want to sit back and say, just carry on with those backlinks, then that's fine as well. But every now and then I will come and take a look at these figures. I'll mark them in an Excel spreadsheet, and then that gives me a bit of a boost if I want to keep increasing things. Or I might just pick one area, say, right, how am I going to get more link clicks this month? So I think about what different tweets I can put on with what different links to different places of my website, whether I can change the images from static images to GIFs, to do something to see if that will get me more link clicks. Even if I'm not getting link clicks, by the way, I'm still putting the backlinks in, and that's what Google sees. Whether people click on them or not, they're still seeing those backlinks, right? And that's what's important. But take a note of these stats, okay, and do use them to help you, strategize and target yourselves to move forward a bit more. Where do I want to show you?
Amanda, what about in terms of the times of the day? You might want to schedule your 5 tweets.
Okay, well, think of your target audience and think of your buying persona, map out their day and think about when they're most likely to be checking their Twitter accounts. So for example, if you wanted to target parents, and I'm going to talk about normal times rather than what's happening at the moment, but if you wanted to target parents, you'd think, right, maybe I'll put a tweet out at 8 o'clock in the morning because they're likely to be checking their mobile phone. Although, you know what, to be honest, would they click through to buy something? Would they go and read a blog at that time in the morning? Possibly, possibly not. But they still might see your branding at that time. You'll then think, right, they're now dealing with the kids' breakfast. No point tweeting to them now. Now they're on the school run. Let's not bother tweeting to them now. They're probably on their way to their office. They've got to look at their emails and everything. But you know what? Maybe they'll check in with Twitter when they're having a coffee at 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and you'd schedule a tweet to go out there. There's no magic rule to it. It very much depends on that audience. And you should all have thought about your buying personas. And it might be that they're different on each of your social accounts. But having a buying persona will make your marketing so much easier. One of my clients is a counsellor. So she'll deal with a lot of people who have insomnia. So her tweets go out much later at night to catch those people. So she might put a couple out through the day, but we're quite happy to tweet up until 11 o'clock at night. We could probably go into the morning as well, but I think that would be a bit much in case somebody felt like they needed urgent attention at 2 o'clock in the morning. So you think about your boundaries, you think about, when you want to reply to things, if you think that what you're tweeting is going to strike up a conversation, keep it to the times that you want to be on Twitter. There's lots of things to bring into the computation, but the main thing is your buying persona. What does their day look like?
That makes perfect sense. Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, it should show me on here. Let me have a look. There we go. Where are we? Where have you moved this to? Just 2 seconds. I love it when they do this to me. No, can't find what I'm looking for. By the way, if you like spreadsheets, you can export your data here. Also, if you've been using Twitter for a while and you want to do that comparison now of how well you've done each month, you can change this diary here and download the data for the last few months and so on. Okay, let's have a look. No, we're really not going to show me that. Okay. So what I think we'll move on to now is actually talking about what you can put in a tweet. Okay, it's a lot easier these days. Now they've increased the characters. It used to be just 140 characters. Now you've got about, I think, is it 240? So much better. We can get so much more into it. Now, one of the easiest things you can do, let me shut some of these down, is just go to your website. And turn it into tweets. So here we go. I sat and I worked out all my wording, and I wrote out all the different pages on my website and optimized it, and quite happy. Why not now use that for my tweets? So here we go. Northeast Social Media Limited provides training in the efficient and effective use of social media platforms to Northeast businesses. So that is a tweet. So I would copy that sentence, hop over to Hootsuite, create a new post, and I'd say Northeast Social Media is going to say that, but actually I'm going to change the tense to we provide training the efficient and effective use of social media platforms for Northeast businesses currently via Zoom. Hashtag social media. And catch up with me, please. I think my Wi-Fi keeps dropping out this morning. There we go. Social media training. Hashtag any followers. Hashtag, actually, let's have this going out at Network Northeast Hour. And then might go browse media. And all the free images here, most of them have been pulled through from Pixabay. If I just typed in the word social media. I should have a little song to sing, shouldn't I, while we do these pauses?
Yes, we need some nice music, don't we?
Yeah, well, let's have some of that jazz music back on that we had at the beginning. Here we go. So these are all copyright-free images that come up that we can use to represent social media. So here, oh, there we go. Where's that gone? I didn't even pick one. There we go. So let's use that one there. And then it'll pull the image through here, and I'm going to schedule it for later. And I'm going to say, I want that one to go out today at 2:05 p.m., which is 5 minutes after the networking hour has started. And of course, I'm not going to forget, because I nearly did, to put my web link in. There. That's all scheduled to go out at 2:05. So I click the schedule button. If I just refresh that stream, there it is. So you can sit and you can turn your whole website into tweets. Now, what I do is I use the paid for version. So I'm using an Excel sheet. Let me see, I haven't used them for, I'm not currently using this, by the way, because of the coronavirus. We've got to be a little bit, we're having to tweak tweets to be more aware of the virus. But I do have a folder here called Tweet Sheets, and I haven't opened my account, never mind. And what I do on that is I've created these bulk tweets, the generic tweets that I can keep uploading every couple of weeks. So I've got 50 tweets on there, and I just click on the button to upload them into my Hootsuite, and then we add some images on when we've done that, and that's them scheduled for 2 weeks. That's what you can do with the paid for version. And if my Excel sheet's open, I'll be able to show you that. But what you can do on the free accounts, let me just close that down, is create draft tweets. So you can say, right, new post. I'm going to say from this Twitter account, let's just take another sentence from the website. So we'll go through to social media management. We'll take the link there. Actually, we're going to take that one there. Our social media management packages are available, not just in the Northeast, but far and wide. I could be tweeting that out over and over again. That fact is not going to change. So what you could do is paste that over here, pop your link through. Sometimes it will pull through an image from your website and suggest you use it. If you don't want to use it, you could either use the free stock images there, or if you have your own image, you can click to upload your file here. So I've got one in here called social media management.
Amanda, would you use an image on every tweet? Because they do get...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally, because the only one I couldn't do was on that poll. So when I put that poll on earlier on, that doesn't allow an image to go with it. You have, when you post something on any social media account, apart from possibly LinkedIn, but on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, you've got 1.3 seconds to capture that person's attention before they move on to the next post. Therefore, you need to come up with ways of capturing people's attention, and images do that. The eye works, or your brain works, so that when it sees an image, it will take in the information from that 60,000 times faster than it does words. All right, so this is why you need to use images, and flickering images, i.e. animated GIFs, are going to draw the eye even more. This is why they're saying things like, by 2022, 85% of your online marketing is going to need to be video. And by video, I don't mean huge, great, big, long 1-hour productions. I mean 15 seconds. 15-second video clips is the way forward. You can post them on your tweets. You can post them on Facebook and on your Facebook stories and your Instagram stories. That is the way we're moving. In December, for example, on Instagram, more people swiped than scrolled on Instagram. And that means more people watched stories and swiped across from one story to the next than they did scroll down through their news feed. All right, so this is the way things are moving. So yes, something moving, a short video or a bright image is what you need here to capture people's attention. Sometimes the images I use have got nothing to do with a post. I'm literally putting on a cute picture of a puppy or a lion or a giraffe or something that I know people will respond to. So that account that I've mentioned that I manage for a counsellor, I've tried all kinds of images. I've tried branding images and so on. But what her audience respond to is wildlife. That's what they like. So that's what they get. Okay, I mean, it's nice and easy. If you're talking about courage and you're talking about being brave, then you're going to use a lion. If you're talking about caring and so on, then there are tons of images out there that you can use where you've got an elephant with its trunk wrapped around a baby elephant, or, you know, monkeys cuddling together. Be careful where you source these images from, by the way. You can't just go to Google and look for a picture of an elephant and download them. If you touch any of those images and they happen to belong to a stock photo site or to a photographer, you could be sued for using it. At the moment, Getty, who are one of the large stock photo sites, are fining people in the region of 800 quid for using one of their images on a post without buying the license for it. You have no argument. These are copyrighted images. Just because an image is available on Google Images, or you see it in Facebook, or you'll see it on Instagram, does not mean you can use it. What you would need to do is, when you do your search, you can see how fantastic these images are. When you go onto tools, this new bar pops up. Go to usage rights and look at the ones that have been labeled for reuse and look how different they are. There's still some cute pictures there, but they may not be as vibrant as the ones we've just been looking at. These images will be posted on Wikipedia, Wikimedia, on Pixabay and on Flickr and sites like that, where you can use them. So what I tend to do is go straight to Pixabay, which is what's been pulled through onto your Hootsuite account. Look for elephants. I've got over 4,000 here to choose from. 4,000 free images of elephants. And when you click on them, it clearly shows you over here, free for commercial use, no attribution required. That means it's absolutely safe for you to use this image without having to put through the link through to the author. Sorry, my husband's just walked in waving at me. He's going straight out again, but look what he's found me. Self-raising flower. Yeah, bye. Thank you. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so these images, you know you're safe to use. What I like about them as well is when you download them, you've got all these different choices of sizes. So these are good enough to print from as well. Okay, but yes, always use image. You always use something bright to pull something in. And by trying different images, you'll know what it is your audience likes.
Amanda Risman's just asking a question. If you posted an image on Twitter and someone else posts that on their account, can I put a copyright claim in?
Yeah, totally. So what's happening now is I work with a company in North Shields. I'll not name them, but last year they brought in £35,000 by suing people who were using their photographs.
Wow.
35,000. So what happens is, all somebody would need to do, let me download that elephant. Are you downloading? All right, I'll show you another way. Yeah, there it is. So all you need to do is go to Google, click on images, and then you would drag your image up. Oops, no, you won't. There we go. There we go. And drop your image here. And just like that, it's going to show me that image. It's going to show me images like it. And underneath, look at that. It's showing me every single website that's used this. And if that was and obviously, look, there's pages of it. If that was a copyrighted image, if that was your image, yes, you could sue every single one of those people for using that image. There we go. But this one's allowed to be used, so that's fine. But I just thought I'd use it as an example.
Yeah, we've had a few people comment and they have been caught out by that already, Amanda. So,
Really? Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started with this 11 years ago, I was using copyrighted images without knowing it. Thankfully, I was never caught. And as soon as I learned about copyright, I went and took them all down. But I remember for one company, they made this natural product called zeolite. And I downloaded a photograph of Prince Philip, and he had his hands out to shake somebody. So I put a bag of the zeolite in his hand. I thought it was fantastic. But that was the first one to come down when I learned about copyright.
Gosh, frightening, isn't it? I know we're being asked how do you go about suing them, but I think that would be illegal.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to find yourself a solicitor. And yeah, I wouldn't give advice on that. I'm not a solicitor, but yes, you would need a solicitor to deal with that for you.
Would you recommend a mix of, again, it obviously depends on where your audiences are, Amanda, but people are asking, should they use a range of platforms, social media platforms, not just Twitter?
Oh yeah, definitely. It does, exactly as Helen has said, it very much depends on where your target audience is, what platforms they're using. Now for me, because I teach businesses how to use social media, I know they're on every platform. All right, so therefore I need a presence on every platform. But you have absolutely got to sit and work out. You need to strategize about this. Think about your target audience. Think about which platforms they're using. Make sure you have a presence on them. But then it might be that, you know what, you're only going to get 20% of your work through LinkedIn. So maybe you put 20% of your effort into LinkedIn and you put the 80% into Facebook. So it's not that I'm saying you've got to have everything and you've got to post on everything every day. You need to create a strategy around what's going to be best for you, what's going to get the best reach for you, where you're going to find and you know, which platforms you're going to use for interaction. But ideally, at the moment, most businesses will be using LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Facebook stories, Instagram stories, Pinterest, YouTube maybe. You know, the list will just go on. And Facebook groups at the moment is absolutely mad, completely taking off. So I better show you, because we're coming up to time, aren't we? I better show you a couple of, are we coming up to time, Helen?
We are, it's 12 o'clock. I know we've just had a question there about the website, and was the website link put into the actual text box there in Hootsuite?
Yes, it is, yeah. And I can leave it as it is, or I can shorten it with Owly. Owly is just, you can see over here, there's the Owly link there, and then I can track it. Then I'll get the information in my analytics and how many people have clicked that link. So what you can do, what I wanted to show you on here was the fact that you can save this as a draft. And on a free account, you can schedule, I think you can have 30 drafts and you can schedule up to 30 tweets at a time. So what you would do is, on a free account, you would create all of these drafts, save them as drafts, and then you could go into those drafts on a daily basis if you wanted to, and just pick 5 tweets that you want to go out today. It might be that you just want to use 4 of your generic tweets and create something else that you think your audience would like to see. All right, but all those posts could be sitting in drafts for you. So you just can click on them, schedule them to go out later today, and they're still going to be sitting in your drafts for you for when you want to send the tweets out next week. I hope that makes sense. Something I haven't showed you that's really important, and we get that saved as a draft, is how to create these streams. So you would, first of all, link up your account. You would be adding a social network, and say it's the Twitter account. You'd be logged into your Twitter account up here. When you click this button, connect with Twitter, and it's going to pull through that live account. You have to confirm to give Hootsuite access to that Twitter account, and that's it. It pulls it through for you. Once you've added a social network, you're going to want to create your dashboard and have these streams on it. And what you would do is you would click here to add a stream. So I'm just going to call this the test stream. And on this test stream, I want to get started. And I'm getting started with just with Twitter, only Twitter that I want to bring through here. Actually, we'll do it from, there we go. So we would say which Twitter account we're dealing with. So Northeast Social Media. And I want to see the Twitter account. There it is, Northeast Social. And I want a home stream. I want to see if anyone's mentioned me. I want to see all my scheduled tweets. And I want to see all the tweets I've sent out just to make sure what I'm scheduling for today wasn't what I sent out yesterday. I then might want to have a different type of stream based on my list. And I might say, I just want to see all the tweets from people who are, let's have a look, people I've met networking, and just their tweets are going to come through here. I might also like to add it based on, let's have a look. You're not going to give that to me. Can't see it there. I normally put one through on a keyword or a hashtag that's being used, but it's not giving me that option at the moment. So add a stream. Yeah. So if I click this button over here, add a stream, I can then go to keywords and I could say Northeast Social Media would like a stream that if anyone says Network Northeast, or if anyone says any followers, or anybody says Northeast Hour, I didn't put the hashtag in, whoops. I want to see that stream. And right here, you can see that stream of anybody who's using those key hashtags. All their tweets are coming through here. And I can follow them from here. I can interact with them. I can like them. I can retweet them or quote tweet them, as they call it on Hootsuite. Right, so you can manage everything at a glance from your Hootsuite dashboard. I must admit, when I'm doing my Twitter routine in the morning, I still do that from the main account. But thereafter, all monitoring and watching any tweets that where I'm being mentioned and so on, I'll use the dashboard for that because it's all there in front of me, making it nice and easy. Right, there we go.
Oh, Mandy, we've got more questions for you. Oh, you're so popular with these questions. So we've got just a question about should you and is it okay just to copy the same tweets again?
Yeah, absolutely fine. I'll see if that Excel spreadsheet, oh, it has opened for me now, Northeast Social Media. So this is my bulk sheet. And this sheet shows me, and you can do this in Word if you want to. This is a .csv file. So it's an Excel spreadsheet that's saved in a .csv format so that I can go onto Hootsuite and bulk upload my tweets at once. But obviously that's paid for. So I've created 50 tweets on this sheet. And I'll go through. So come and join my Facebook group and get your social media questions answered. Hashtag any followers, link through to my Facebook group. That tweet can stay there. That can go out over and over again. What I might do with things like these stats that I put on, I might update them and change them. These that link through to the testimonials that people have left on my website, I'll leave them alone. They can keep going out. But I would do things like if I have events that I've done in the past or workshops that I've been delivering. So for this one, for example, I would take that tweet out and I would add something new in about one of the latest things I'm doing with a link through to where people can book. But these main ones here stay the same. I'm a social media consultant. This is what I do. Here's a sentence from my website. This is what I do. Those tweets can stay the same week in, week out, and it won't look like repetition because of the way Twitter works.
Fantastic. I've just had a question from Karen there. She's saying many people use their own name. Oh, sorry. Why do you use your company name instead of your own name?
Why do you use on your Twitter account? So that I come up for searches for both. So what you want really, and I didn't actually show you how to do that bit either, did I? So on your profile, you want to come up. So I've got Northeast Social Media here, so I switched it around. My account name is Northeast Social Media. My username is Northeast Social, but Amanda Dixon is here. So I've made sure I've included the 3 things that I believe people are going to search for when they're looking for me. I've made sure that they're in my username, my account name, or my bio. So if you want to edit this section, there we go. This here, this bio section is so important. You've only got 160 characters, but you need that to have the keywords that you want to be found for when somebody's doing a search on Twitter. That won't fit. Okay, so you want the keywords that you want to be found for within that bio. So when somebody searches for that and clicks on people, your account is going to come up to them. Make sure that you've got your location in, and make sure that you've got your web address link in there as well. There you go. I've just updated mine, left the S off HTTP.
Brilliant. Okay, so is there any more questions now before we try and wrap up? Is there anything else people want to ask? So we've got a question from Miriam saying, should you use keywords on your LinkedIn profile too?
Oh, totally. So that headline area on LinkedIn that comes up next to everything you post next to your name is absolutely should be edited with your keywords. So a lot of people will just create a bit the profile, say they're the managing director of their company, and that's what appears in there, which is great if you want to come up in a search for managing directors, but not, for example, for me, so great if you want to come up as a social media specialist. So yeah, you make sure those keywords are in your LinkedIn profile and your Instagram profile, and obviously your Twitter profiles as well.
That's great. Thanks, Amanda. That's great. Just people are asking questions about the webinar. We are recording it, and we will be sending out, I know for ourselves, excuse me, we'll be sending it out on a link and also via YouTube as well. So we'll make sure you have access to that. But it was just really just, oh, we've got one more question there. Can I use 2 languages on my tweet, or shall I post the tweets separately?
I'd probably do the tweets separately if I were you. In fact, if most of your tweets are in dual languages, I might have 2 Twitter accounts, one for the English tweets and one for the other language. I might be tempted to do that.
Perfect. And Karen's asking, do you use a logo in the background? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Karen. Do you mean a logo on the profile picture, or I'm not quite sure. Oh,
On profile, if you want to. Again, don't forget how small that picture is when it appears in the profile. It's called a thumbnail, isn't it? That profile picture gets shrunk down to a tiny thing. So if you were trying to put a logo in there and a picture of you, I think it would probably be a bit much. So if I were you, I would either have your face, if you're the face of your business, or just your logo. But make sure when you're uploading that logo, you've got plenty of space, color space around it, so that when it converts it from the square into the circle, the main emphasis of the logo is in that circle. But don't try and do both. Nobody would be able to see it.
That's great, and thank you for having some nice comments there. So I think obviously we'll wrap up, because I'm conscious people are they'll probably want a cup of coffee and the tea breaks and things. But just to say a big thank you to you, Amanda. It's been absolutely brilliant. We've had some fab feedback there, and it's all given us some great tools. So thank you very much, Amanda. That's
lovely. And it'd be great if everyone could connect with me. You know, well, you obviously all know my Twitter name, and I'm Northeast Social Media on Facebook and Instagram. So it'd be really good to connect with you afterwards as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.